Ms. Knox, you are seeking a DNA test to prove to your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Bailey, that he is the father of your 1-year-old son, Cash. You claim the only reason he's denying your son is because of his meddling mother. Not only do you want to establish paternity, you are also suing for child-rearing expenses in the sum of $3,480. Is that correct? Ms. Bailey, you claim your son is a famous dancer and is about to hit it big. Both of you claim Ms. Knox is pinning a baby on your son because she is after his fame and future fortune.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Knox, what has Mr. Bailey done for Cash since he's been born?
Your Honor, for the past year that I've had my child, I had to struggle to take care of him alone. I paid for everything.
That's because you wanted to, little girl.
That's because
no, ma'am.
No, I paid for everything because
no, ma'am.
He quit his job, and in June of 2014, I asked him when will he start to pay for something, and he said he will.
I always had
July 13, 2014, when it came, he didn't have anything in the hospital with nothing. I paid for everything.
Because you wanted to.
I paid for everything. You didn't have a job, so how were you gonna pay for it?
Because you wanted. Okay, hold on.
You didn't have a job.
He got a
Let's get some order. Let's get some order.
You didn't. You don't have any money, so
you don't know what I got.
Some order.
I got a whole lot. I got more than you.
No, you don't.
You gotta listen to the judge, man.
Let's get some order.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Do you have receipts?
Yes, I do have
That
receipts
will substantiate
of all the stuff that I had bought for my child.
Jerome, may I see those, please?
I had to buy wipes, car seats, strollers. I had to buy everything. I haven't seen anything from it, Mr. Bailey.
So these are receipts for
A car seat,
walker,
a stroller,
car seat, swing, baby expenses. They total $6,960.
Yes, ma'am.
Half of which is $3,480, which you say he would be responsible for.
Yes.
To help raise the child that you claim is, in fact, his biological child.
Ma'am, as soon as my potential child was born, I paid to get his circumcision. I paid for that. That was $200 out of pocket.
Why, if he's not your child?
No question. No question.
If you didn't think he was yours, why pay for it?
The same reason why I bought everything else.
You ain't do nothing for your own son, so I don't even know why you're here. You didn't take care of him, so why are you worried about my child?
All right.
She don't know.
She don't know. You didn't take care of him.
She don't know. She don't know. Ma'am.
Let's get some order. Listen, I'm not going to entertain this. The next time I have to hit this gavel, I'm just going to dismiss the case and we won't have any answers today. Mr. Bailey, you knew this was your potential child, but you did not know for certain.
Correct.
That's why you say potential.
Correct.
After the child was born, did you stay involved?
You know, I really didn't get a chance to. She took off to Texas.
Ms. Knox, you left the
2
state?
days.
Yes, ma'am. I left to go to Texas because I needed help to raise my child. I couldn't go to your mother because your mother didn't even raise you.
Why do you think she left?
Only she knows the real reason why she left.
So when she left,
I have
Instagram.
evidence.
I'd like to see that evidence.
This.
What is this evidence, sir?
I have evidence showing that you only got those things to stack up because I said I was going to put you on child support. That's the only reason why you got it.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I have it too.
Let's get some order. Mr. Bailey, you say this is evidence of what?
That's me. That's just like some of the stuff I had around the house. You know, that I purchased for cash.
Yeah,
some of the stuff he wore. Some of it he wore. Some of it's brand new, still in. You know, still have tags on it.
I have evidence showing that he only did that
Walker, I have the
because I
receipts.
said I was putting him on child support. I have evidence.
Let me see your evidence.
I have the walkers.
I never seen the clothes, but besides on holidays,
and this is evidence you've submitted. It is a tweet that he says, "I wonder how many more receipts I'ma need before I go to court."
Right.
What? What kind of tweet is this, Mr. Bailey?
It's a joke because who does that? Like, what type of fun? I have two kids.
You wrote
I have
it.
2 kids.
No, did you tweet this?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 kids.
What is it about?
I mean, it's me making a joke. Like, I have 2 kids. Like, who does that? Who keeps receipts? I don't keep receipts on my children. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
So what, you're being sarcastic in this
tweet? Right.
Your Honor,
I never had to do that.
Mr. Bailey, I want to understand your doubt because you say you're at the hospital. You went through the pregnancy with her.
Yes, ma'am.
You signed the birth certificate.
Yes, ma'am.
So when did you start doubting?
When his mother started talking, Your Honor.
I started doubting when I started seeing her actions. Like, who does that? Around the time I had first went God, right? I'm not no phone checking type person. That's not my style, okay? But I just so happened to go through her phone, She was texting me and this little dude around the same time, telling us it was like the same conversations, right? Like minutes apart, not even, like minutes apart. So the last text message said, I'm gonna come give you a hug and a kiss, right? From the other guy. And my text message said, I'm on my way to come get you. So it's pretty much whoever got there first. If he would have got there first, if she was already pregnant, that probably would have been his baby. She probably would have been saying it's his baby.
Wait a minute, what?
I don't know.
Like, she probably would have been at his house.
Wait.
One more time,
Stop.
Anna.
I need you to start that again, because I'm not understanding this dialogue.
Okay.
You're saying from a text message you saw?
Before I got pregnant, he said, Yana.
Before she was pregnant?
Yeah.
You saw a text message in her phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
That's correct.
Several.
Several.
That's not
so
one.
it was your text message to her, followed by another man.
Yes, ma'am.
And that other man's text had
Our time intervals was like right there.
And
right
it seemed like there was something intimate going on with the other guy.
I mean, it was clear as day. It was just like.
Well, why you stood there then?
So what you're saying is that said to you in your mind, she's having sex with both of us.
I think she was pregnant when she met my son. And the reason why I say that, because every time somebody went over there, she was under the cover. It's a shotgun house. It was my house. I left it to him. So when you walk in, you're in the living room, in the room. The proper thing to do, little girl, is get up and acknowledge your guest who's ever.
Acknowledge you.
Yeah, he wasn't even there.
I don't even like him.
So hold on, Miss Bailey.
I don't care if he don't like
You don't even
Miss Bailey, talk to me. Because I want to understand what you're saying.
Clearly
You said you believe she was already pregnant
when she met my son. And the reason why I say that is because you own the social media, okay? So obviously you done saw what he was doing for his other kids and maybe even what's going on for...
Yana, he does not have a career. I don't know what career you're talking about, but he does not. He was nothing when I met him, and he's nothing now.
Ain't like you nothing.
It was your house.
Calm down. Miss Bailey, explain to me why you believe she was pregnant before she even met your son.
Because when we actually did have a conversation, she's gonna say, oh, well, I'm 3 months pregnant.
Lies. Yeah.
And I'm like, 3 months pregnant, and that was in November.
This is your evidence
this is
here?
my board,
please step over to the exhibit and show me.
3 months. It was November. She told me she was 3.5 months pregnant. She met my son in October. Either way, whether it was November or December, it don't matter, little girl. It don't add up. So at this point, I'm looking at her. Now, mind you, she never one time got out of the bed every time we go over there. She's always covered up. So when I see her, she's like maybe in between here.
So you're saying she looked like she was 5 or 6 months pregnant
when I physically saw her, when she told me she was 3 months.
Okay.
Me even meeting her, I had
you
my
can
doubts.
step back over to the podium.
When he came and, he was trying to get me to talk to the little girl, I said, I don't think so. It's just something about her that I don't like. From day one, I kept telling him.
That's what I said, Yana.
I don't...
Your Honor,
because he's about to really make it big as a dancer. He's about to be famous.
Yes, he did take a few trips to Hollywood.
He came back with nothing.
You don't know what he came back with. Because you didn't get nothing. Because you didn't get nothing.
He came back a week later. So if you go to Hollywood to make
come back
out of your life,
Your Honor.
you are not going to come back a week later to do this? What is that?
Your Honor.
That's not no career.
He did not come back a week later. And even if he don't make it.
That's not money because he's shaking his shoulder.
Hold on, baby.
That's not a career, baby. Come with something else.
Have you ever requested a DNA test?
3 times. I asked her 3 times, and we haven't seen Cash ever since I brought that up. And then every time we want to see Cash, Edward has to give her something. Oh, well, if you give me a case of diapers, you can see Cash.
Okay.
Yeah, I still don't receive this stuff. And the reason why I don't give them to him, because first off, their house is not even it's not even a house. It's dirty, it's filthy, it's
You're a lie.
I still don't trust my child with you because you didn't raise your own child, so I have a problem with
You are a lie,
you didn't raise
girl.
your own kids, why would I freely give my child to you?
But you understand that if he's in fact the biological father of this child, he has a legal right to see the child.
He does, but if you're not doing nothing for him, there's no reason for you to come get him.
Hold on.
If you're not taking care of my child, what is your reasons for coming to get him?
Listen, but this is a good legal lesson for you, just so you know, Ms. Knox, because if he's not the biological father and somebody else is, it doesn't matter. The legal right to see your child is separate from your legal responsibility to take care of them. Okay. Meaning, a man can be behind in his support. That happens, it does, but that does not in any way affect, cut off his right to see the child, because ultimately it's about the child's best interest. I'm trying to understand, Mr. Bailey has gone through this entire process, signed a birth certificate. He's seen some text messages that he maybe says he feels like you might have been with somebody else, but I just have not gotten to this doubt. I want to understand what this doubt is. Now, Mom, I heard you. I get your doubt. And Mr. Bailey, I want to understand yours fully.
I mean, she goes as far as to dealing with my friends, like a couple of my apart. I don't know if she think I don't know about it or not, but they always tell me, they always come back and tell me, son, your baby mama tore up. She trying to talk to me like she, you know what I'm saying, like all the time. Like, you know, I know how dudes is.
Never heard of Iyanna. That's something new.
Wait, she tore up? What do you mean?
Like,
she messed up.
A thought.
You know.
Out here.
A thought is basically
jumping around. Like, first of all, she constantly threatens me. I'm gonna put you on child support, I'm gonna put you on child support. Then double back a couple days later, I'll never do that to you. I'll never do that to you. I'll never put you on child support. I'm like, all right. Then she even tweets, like how good of a father like she's happy that I've been there, and that I've been taking care of my son and so on and so forth. But I received a letter saying that she must have went down there and filed and took me out child support. Why would you do that? The only reason.
So you're saying you got a letter in the mail that says that you were going to be taken off child support? No, my case would no longer be pursued. I didn't even know. So when you got that letter,
the only way they would close your case is if she went down there and claimed somebody else is the father and she put somebody else on child support, or she just went down there. Like, why would you do that? Why would you take me out if, like, I don't understand?
So, well, Ms. Knox, I mean, if you had a case pending against him, and then they said they were no longer going to pursue that case, did you go down and say
no, Yana, I filed for it at first. And then I really didn't want to do it because I feel like you grown. I shouldn't have to go through child support in order for you to take care of a child that you helped me make. So I did it, and then I just ain't respond to the case the most. So that's how the case got closed. I didn't go down there and say close the case. I just didn't respond to it at all. But I recently did it. I did it because I did not want to have to go through that process. I do not want to have to sit around and wait on no check that you do not have.
So
you don't even have no money to give me.
Okay, so
you don't even have a job. So I'm not trying to go through no child support. I'm not trying to make you go through it.
I got several.
That's why I did not go through with it the first time. But once I realized that the years just going by and you really not going to help me take care of my child, now you're back on child support. Now the process is going to start. It's going to continue.
It don't go like that, dummy. Once you
if you're about to receive your papers, I just came from court.
So,
Ms.
Knox,
what papers?
You're going to receive one in the mail.
Ms. Knox,
all
right. With that said, I think it's time for the results. Thank you, Jerome. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Knox versus Bailey, pertaining to 1-year-old Cash Bailey, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Bailey, you are Cash's father.
That's fine. You're still a crown.
You seem emotionless. How does it feel?
That's my son. I'm gonna move forward with what I gotta do as a father, and I'm not gonna let her bring me down. I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing because I know the truth.
You both are gonna have to figure out how to parent this child. Now, as it relates to your suit, Ms. Knox, you came in saying that you had spent $6,960 by yourself caring for this child.
Yes, yeah.
However, Mr. Bailey's testified and you've acknowledged he did pay $200 for the circumcision as it relates to baby Cash. He's going to get credit for that. That brings the total expenses for you alone to $6,760, half of which would be $3,380.
Okay.
My judgment is for $3,380 for you, the plaintiff, because in fact, Mr. Bailey is Cash's biological father. And Mr. Bailey, you have a legal responsibility to help care for that child. Let me give you a news flash before we go. As you begin to take care of this child, keep receipts for everything you buy. Have that there. If in fact she proceeds with the child support case, you'll be responsible for that as well. But if there's ever any issue about what you buy, you're going to be allowed. If you buy clothes for your child and you want to keep those clothes at your house, you are completely, that's fine if you want to do that.
Yes,
but keep proof of what you are doing for the child. If this comes up, you will need it if you have to deal with this issue again. I wish you all the best of luck. Ms. Allen, you say that after a brief affair with Mr. Childs, you discovered you were pregnant with your daughter, Ms. Baylor. You say Mr. Childs acknowledged paternity until his wife convinced him otherwise. You intend to prove that Mr. Childs is, in fact, your daughter's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Childs, you admit to the affair with Ms. Allen, but say she was involved with several other people around the time of conception. You and your wife contend that you are not Ms. Baylor's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Allen, why is Mr. Childs denying your daughter?
His petty wife. She's been
Excuse me,
doing that
Your
for years. She wasn't there when we were sleeping together or nothing. So I don't think she have anything to do with it.
So you're basically blaming his wife?
Yes.
She should blame herself, Your Honor.
What?
Why did it take you 20 years to figure out that you should get a DNA test?
Because
for her?
I didn't need to go through the drama.
Again,
I didn't need to go through the
you.
All
drama
right,
with you.
let's talk one at a time because I do want to understand this. How did you all even get together?
She was friends with cousins of mine, and we got together like that. We ended up messing around or whatever. Nothing serious.
So you all get together, you have mutual friends, you start having sex.
Well,
obviously
actually,
unprotected.
it started like this. We had a friend that got killed. And me and him, I would call and check on him and things like that. Then one day, I just came through after a football game, and he wanted to ride with me. And so we went on and had drinks or whatever. And then that's when we had sex.
Is this the night you believe you conceived after
Yes.
the football game and the drinks?
Yes.
Was this the only time you were intimate with Mr. Child?
We just did it like maybe a couple times after that.
Okay, so this didn't extend for a long time. This is just a few encounters.
Yeah.
Then you say you got pregnant. And once you got pregnant, did you tell Mr. Childs, I'm pregnant and I think it could be yours?
Actually, it was rumors, so he came
You
to me.
spread the rumor. People are coming
Okay,
to me.
if I
People
had family and I'm pregnant or whatever, but
why aren't you telling the truth? You didn't know who the father was.
Well, you knew that
were
from
telling
day one.
You were telling that.
You knew that from
That's
day
not what
one.
you were saying, though. The
You
rumor
knew
that you
that
put
from
out
day
there.
one.
Hold on,
the rumor
I'm
that you
going to
put out
give
there was
both
the
of
child
you a
mine.
chance to respond to the other, but I want to understand. Ms. Allen, what is your contention?
I told him, I said, she may be your child.
You told him directly?
Yes. I told him, I said it's a possibility that she may
So
not
you
be
said
yours.
it is a possibility that she may not be yours.
Exactly.
So you acknowledge this doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay, so Mr. Child.
Yes, ma'am.
How did the story go in your assessment?
Your Honor, listen, wasn't no, hey, listen, I'm trying to get at you or anything like that. No, never that. It's just a moment that happened. So I even asked her, once I found out, I heard she was pregnant. Hey, are you you supposed to be pregnant by me? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's yours or not. So I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what. If you're pregnant and it's mine, let's get a DNA test. We can go ahead and get this out of the way. Have no problem with taking care of her because she would have been my first. I don't see her again for months. Probably longer than that, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Allen, when Ms. Baylor was born, you didn't invite him to the birth.
No.
Did you invite any other man?
No.
Did you inform the other possibility or the other possibilities that they may be the father
Yes.
as well? You did?
Yes.
Okay. If you say he might be the father, why are you in court today saying that he is the
Because
father?
I was messing with him first.
How do you know?
What you mean, how do I know that? I had to go through the drama with Miss Johnson. up and down the road, she following me.
How can she remember me chasing her up and down the street, but she can't remember who fathered her child? Why am I living in her head rent-free, but she can't remember who fathered her child? Furthermore, Your Honor, he's always been there for my children. So this little song and dance she doing, I'm telling the truth. Why would she? Okay, I think it's important to know too. When we met her daughter, the daughter told us that she had tested someone else. Why didn't you test him first?
So, Ms. Allen, there has been testimony which indicates that you also tested another man.
Yeah, she did.
Is that true?
Okay, that is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Tell the court about that.
That is true, but that was somebody that I wasn't even messing with him. This was something that came
Why
about.
would you test someone you aren't messing with?
Because
she was fishing.
He came out and asked me, and he said, you know, I was messing with your mom around the time. I wanted to get a DNA test with you.
Okay, someone reached out to you, Ms. Baylor, and said, I think I may be your father, and I want to have a test.
Yeah, I want to have a test.
But, Ms. Allen, you say this person was never a consideration.
No, and I told him that, but he was insisting on it. I was like, that is not, I wasn't even messing with you back then.
So the bottom line is, Ms.
She don't know. That's the bottom line.
Allen, you have not had a DNA test with any of the other true potential fathers.
Right.
Okay, so Shinesha, Ms. Baylor, were you always told Mr. Childs was your biological father?
To be honest, Your Honor, I was about 14 when I first found out my sister's dad wasn't my dad. Just hearing rumors, just going over my grandmother's house in Bowling Green. And that's where basically he is from, and everybody would come to me like, you're my cousin, TJ's your dad. I'm like, I don't know who TJ is. Who is TJ? And I went about it myself. I found him on Facebook, hit him up, and I said, look, I don't know what's going on, but I do actually want to know.
And did I ever once deny you?
Nah, you never did.
Never once. Never once. A child looking for a father, Your Honor, and I stand a chance of being there, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. You can ask her. We conversated, we talked everything.
So, Ms. Baylor, first you believed until you were 14 years old that your sibling's father was your biological father.
Her stepfather.
Then people were murmuring, and you were told by whom that that was not your biological father.
Well, basically, my stepdad was telling me stories, and he said when he met my mom, then she was already pregnant with me.
Okay.
You know,
so
so
your stepfather told you the truth.
Yes, so I actually, I don't know if he meant to, but when he told me, I was just like, I just started asking questions. I just wanted to know.
Right. And
I wanted to get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
She knew. I told her, sit down and told her the whole story.
Yeah, she told me after. She didn't tell me before, but she told me after the fact when my stepdad did say that.
Okay.
No, she sat down and talked to me when I brought it to her attention. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused.
I know,
I'm confused
honey.
too.
I know, and that's why I'm trying to understand this, because at the end of the day, you have a right to understand
Exactly.
what happened.
Your Honor, in 2006, I got in touch with Miss Baylor, and I told her that I wanted to meet Shy.
11 years ago, you would have been 9, Miss Baylor.
Yes, ma'am.
So you made an attempt to meet Miss Baylor at 9 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
But you weren't informed of any of this till you were 14.
No, ma'am. I met her. I sat down and talked to her at Miss Allen's house.
I never denied that he
Then why
never
wouldn't you
tried
tell her? Why wouldn't you tell her that?
I felt like I never saw this man in my life. Like, when people was telling me when I was 14, I'm like, I don't know nobody named TJ. I don't remember him or none of this.
I mean, you were only 9. You don't remember him at all.
I don't remember nothing.
And let me ask you this, Mr. Childs. It seems as if you were making earnest attempts to find out. Is it that you still had a question in your mind, so you were just trying to see it through?
I just wanted to see it through, Your Honor. I'm saying like this, if it was such a struggle for her to raise her by herself, and you know where I am, if I'm such a bad person, go get child support. When we went to for child support, I would have got a DNA test, and this would have been taken care of years ago. I've been going on years, Your Honor, with people saying, oh, you know Shy's your daughter. Oh, you know Shy's your daughter. I don't want people looking at me like, oh, you're a deadbeat dad. No, I do what I have to do to take care of my family.
So wait, I want to ask Miss Allen, if this was the man you truly believed was your child's father, why didn't you ever pursue child support?
I basically was working and just taking care of her on my own.
Or was it that you just really knew that you didn't know for sure if it was him?
Well, it didn't even matter because I just was
It didn't
tired
matter
of going
to
through
you.
the drama
It didn't
with
matter
her.
to you. You can't
so
say that.
I went on with my life. I took care of her by myself.
So, Ms. Allen, you never in the court system pursued a DNA test, nothing?
No.
All right?
Your Honor, she just made me feel like she wanted me to be the father by name. So if someone asked her who Shy's father was, she could say me. You know, Your Honor, I'm not being funny or anything, but okay, I was a good catch. I'm not gonna lie, I was a good catch. So I can understand, you know, where she was coming from then. I would have made sure she was fine. I would have made sure the child was fine. All that would have been good. What I'm saying is there was no way to keep up with her. You know, when she had the baby, Your Honor, she brought the baby to my mom's house one time. And I told her right then and there, look, Niecy, we can get this straight now so we don't have any problems in the future. She disappeared.
And you say he didn't say that, Miss Allen?
Mr. Childs was doing other things, and
I'm not saying I wasn't.
And
but
I wasn't the only. I wasn't
everything
even
I
the
was supposed to.
only one he was messing with. He was messing with my cousins and all that stuff. So that's
Again,
why I just went on about my business.
What does that have to do with the child at hand, Your Honor?
Yeah, it doesn't, but at the
Exactly.
same time,
That's what I'm saying. I've been going through, Your Honor. She's not concerned about her. She's concerned about her.
Mr. Childs.
Yeah, I'm concerned about her
You
too.
want my name through the mud for years, Niecy.
How did I bring your name through
You've
the
been
mud?
telling people, see my baby, we won't take a DNA test. How is that not running my name through the mud?
Okay.
People looking at me like I don't take care of a child. You crazy?
Okay.
It's funny to you, it ain't funny to me.
I'm not. Hey, do what you gotta do.
Of course you
All
can.
I'm saying is
Of
we
course
here
you can
for
say
her.
that name.
Listen.
Your Honor,
You
can I
done
say
took-
Mr. Childs, you have other children?
Yes, ma'am. Well taken care of. She knows I would have took great care of this girl. Great care.
So, Mr. Childs and Miss Johnson, do you have any additional doubt?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
do?
ma'am.
Okay.
I have some evidence right here, Your Honor.
Let me see the evidence, Jerome.
Yes.
Will you describe what this evidence
Yes,
is,
ma'am.
sir?
My first evidence is with my children. All my children have 6 fingers, Your Honor. Both of my kids are very tall and look just like me. All my kids look just like me. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, that doesn't mean she's not my child. It's just that I feel I have strong genes. So, you know.
So you're saying all of your children,
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
your other children, have been born with a 6th finger.
Yes, ma'am, just like myself.
And that's a physical characteristic you share with them.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And when we were pregnant with the 7-year-old, we had an ultrasound done. And at that point, as soon as he hit my stomach, she lifted her hand up, and there it was dangling. That
digit.
6th finger. Another digit is what they called it. So if we asked them about that, and they said it would be hereditary, who got it?
Mr. Childs, are there other members of your family with this 6th finger?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Johnson, on your side?
I don't have it, but I found out later on my dad had 6 fingers. But none of us, like my brother or sister, none
And
of us.
so the gene could have come from your side.
It could have, but it was just interesting. None of us.
So interesting.
Yep, they don't
So,
have
Ms. Allen, are you still convinced that Mr. Childs is her biological father?
Yes,
You do believe that?
I really do.
After today's results, what are you hoping?
I mean, if he is, you know, the father, I want them to have a relationship. And I mean, I'm out of it because she's 20. So at the same time, if he's not, then we move on. That's fine with me.
I just have to say, you know, on your behalf, and I don't mean to speak for you, Ms. Baylor, but this is something she has not moved on.
Mm-hmm.
She deserves an answer. And I don't know, Shanisha, it's been a lot of talk about the past and what people do and what they did, but I want you to know you matter. You are all that matters in this moment. What are your hopes?
Basically, I'm just hoping that I can just close this chapter that I do have open in my life. You know, if it's not closing, I'm gonna keep trying to close the chapter. There's nothing that I can be mad about because my mom been taking care of me since, you know.
Exactly. And I hope, as the adults here in this situation, you all can understand that I think it is so amazing that you can stand in this courtroom today and say, you know, I'm not mad about it. But I do want you to understand that it is perfectly okay for you to be hurt about it. And that's okay to admit. This is a lot to have to process. And every girl, every boy, you need your dad. And even though you've had a wonderful experience being raised by your mother, it sounds like you had a nice stepfather as well. At 14 years old, to get that kind of news And then from that point on, for 6 more years beyond that, to have questions and confusion, you can be strong and still acknowledge that you're hurt. Family, are we ready for the results?
Yes, Doug.
Let's do it. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Baylor versus Childs, when it comes to 20-year-old Shinesha Baylor, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Childs, you are not the father.
That's okay.
I'm very sorry, Miss Baylor.
It's okay, Your Honor. You know, at the same time.
It's okay, honey. It's okay.